Good evening, students. In this video, we are going to discuss about cold-induced diuresis. Exactly why we urinate a lot more in winter, right? We will try to understand the whole mechanism in a step-by-step manner, right? So let's start. So, first of all, a person is exposed to cold, right? Now what this exposure to cold will do, that your cutaneous receptors are going to sense this cold first of all, right? Your cutaneous receptors are going to sense this cold. And these cutaneous receptors will send the message to whom, right? They will send the message to hypothalamus, right? Hypothalamus. And what this hypothalamus is going to do? This hypothalamus will in turn stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. It will stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. I'll write in short form SNS. Right? And this sympathetic nervous system via adrenergic, alpha adrenergic receptors, right? Via alpha adrenergic receptors will cause vasoconstriction. What they will cause? They will cause vasoconstriction. Now what's the logic over here? What the body is trying to do? When the body is exposed to cold, right? So any kind of warmth inside the body becomes a precious entity. Now body wants to preserve this warmth to its vital organs, right? Save this warmth for its vital organs. Body has got this intrinsic ability to know that which organs are actually vital for her, right? The brain, your heart, your liver, right? So body takes the blood from the periphery, right, and pulls it towards the central circulation to preserve the warmth for the vital organs of the body, right? Body is trying to do that, right? But in the process of preserving warmth, the body is actually pulling extra amount of blood to the central organs, right? So what happens? The cold, the cutaneous receptors are going to sense it. The hypothalamus is going to stimulate sympathetic nervous system, and sympathetic nervous system via alpha adrenergic receptors will cause vasoconstriction, right? What this vasoconstriction is going to do? This vasoconstriction is going to channelize the blood from your peripheral circulation towards the central circulation. It will channelize blood from peripheral circulation towards central circulation. From periphery to central circulation. Okay. Now, if you get more blood in central circulation, right, which things are going to increase, right? Your central venous pressure, of course, is going to increase. More blood in the veins. Your pulmonary capillary wedge pressure is going to increase, right? If you got more blood in the veins, then what it will lead to? It will lead to more stretch of the right atria. All the veins, all the blood which is there in the veins will ultimately reach the right atria. So it will stretch the right atria. Right atria will get stretched. Right? Now this stretch in the right atria is going to send inhibitory signals, right? It will send inhibitory signals to hypothalamus, right, via vagus nerve, right? So vagus nerve will send inhibitory signals to hypothalamus. Now exactly which nuclei of hypothalamus? Supraventricular nuclei of hypothalamus. Supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei of hypothalamus. Supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei of hypothalamus. Okay, now after sending the inhibitory signals, what this signal is going to do? This signal will reduce the synthesis of ADH, right? Since hypothalamus is not synthesizing ADH, right, you will have less ADH in the posterior lobe of pituitary, right? So less release of ADH from posterior pituitary, right? So the level of ADH is going to reduce from posterior pituitary. Okay. Now if less ADH from posterior pituitary, right, so you will have less ADH acting on the kidney and less recruitment of aquaporin 2 channels, right? So you will have less recruitment or less insertion, you can say, of aquaporin 2 channels. Right? Now less insertion of aquaporin 2 channels, that means less water reabsorption, and this will ultimately lead to diuresis, right? This will lead to what? Diuresis. There are also certain other mechanisms, like right atrial stretch can directly increase your ADH levels, ANP levels. Right, atrial natriuretic peptide. Right atrial stretch will increase your ANP levels, and this ANP can cause natriuresis. If you remember one of my previous videos, ANP has got mainly 3 kind of actions, right? ANP can inhibit your ENaC channels, right? ANP can inhibit that sodium hydrogen exchanger, and ANP can also cause vasodilation, which will increase the GFR. So all these 3 actions will cause natriuresis and diuresis, right? So ANP can inhibit your ENaC channels, right? ANP can also inhibit your sodium hydrogen exchanger, right? And ANP can cause vasodilation of the afferent arteriole, right? Now all these 3 actions will ultimately cause natriuresis and diuresis. Okay. Apart from that, if you have got more blood inside the veins, right, more blood inside the atria, so you'll have more blood inside the ventricle, so preload of the heart is going to increase, right? If preload of the heart increases, right, what will further increase? It will increase the stroke volume, right? If stroke volume increases, what it will increase? It will increase your blood pressure. If systolic blood pressure increases, it will increase the hydrostatic pressure inside the capillaries. So capillary hydrostatic pressure is going to increase, right? If capillary hydrostatic pressure increases, right, your GFR is going to increase, right? But if capillary hydrostatic pressure increases, this will suppress what? This will suppress your renin, right? If the renin is suppressed, of course you will have less of angiotensin 2 and you will have less of aldosterone, right? Less aldosterone means less sodium and water retention, right? And less sodium and water retention means what? Diuresis, ultimately on this side also. There's a beautiful mechanism, many beautiful interactions, right? So let's sum it up, right? So when first of all you are exposed to cold, your cutaneous receptors are going to sense it. These cutaneous receptors are going to send the message all the way to hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus is going to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. This sympathetic nervous system via alpha adrenergic receptors is going to cause peripheral vasoconstriction, right? Now due to this peripheral vasoconstriction, blood will get pulled from periphery towards the central organs, right? The vital organs of the body. Now from peripheral circulation to central circulation, right? Now more blood in central circulation means you will have more capillary venous pressure and more pulmonary capillary wedge pressure. Now this is going to lead to stretch of the right atria. The right atria stretch, the vagus nerve will send inhibitory signal to the hypothalamus. Exactly which nuclei? Supraoptic and paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus. So less synthesis of ADH will be there, less storage of ADH inside your posterior pituitary, less secretion of ADH from there. If less secretion of ADH is there, so you will have less insertion of aquaporin in 2 channels, right? If less insertion of aquaporin in 2 channels, that means less reabsorption of water, right? That means diuresis, right? Right atrial stretch can directly stimulate your atrial natriuretic peptide. This atrial natriuretic peptide has got 3 actions. It can inhibit your ENaC channels, it can inhibit your sodium hydrogen exchanger, and it can dilate your afferent arteriole, right? So all these 3 actions will lead to natriuresis and diuresis. Now more blood in central venous pressure, more central venous pressure means you'll have more blood reaching the right atria, more blood reaching the ventricle. So going to Frank-Starling law, if you've got more blood inside the ventricle, you'll have more forceful contraction, right? So preload is more, so stroke volume will be more, so systolic blood pressure is going to increase. If systolic blood pressure increases, you will have more capillary hydrostatic pressure in the glomerular capillaries, which is going to increase your GFR. But this more capillary hydrostatic pressure is going to suppress your renin level, right? Suppression of renin level will suppress the level of angiotensin 2, right? And if the level of angiotensin 2 is suppressed, the level of aldosterone will also go down. That means less sodium and water retention. If sodium stays inside the tubules, you will have diuresis in the end. So there are multiple mechanisms which can lead to diuresis in cold induced diuresis mechanism. So hopefully you enjoyed going through all these mechanisms. Hopefully this video has helped you in better understanding of cold induced diuresis, right? Wish you all the very best. Thank you.